I like that she did this. I like that she trained like this. I think it's really inspirational. You guys don't have to be into fitness to do this. You can actually think, what could I commit to over a period of time that would challenge me in my comfort zone and just be okay with giving it a try? What could I do?
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the impactful convo I had with Kelsey Lensman in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that episode, you've missed out on a really fun chick. She is cool as fuck. I really enjoyed her. So you can go back and listen to that one, come back and listen to this one. You can listen to this one, you're already here, and then go back and listen to that one. But first, today is December 5th, 2024, and it's Celebrate Shelter Pets Day. We're just going to celebrate shelter pets. You should go adopt a shelter pet today.
That's exactly what this is all about.
Celebrate Shelter Pets Day is on the first Thursday after Thanksgiving. The day brings awareness to pets such as dogs and cats that are in shelters. A lot of people often think of adopting a pet from a shelter home, but they don't always follow through that thought because they think there's something wrong with shelter pets. They are wrong. Most people who've adopted shelter pets can testify that shelter groups are full of great pets that provide companionship. There are unfortunately some pets in the shelter that are deemed unadoptable because of fear, perceived aggression, or anxiety, but even these issues can be managed if addressed properly. Did you know it takes a dog 3 days to relax from the stress of being in a shelter? Then it takes 3 weeks for them to understand your routine. And then by 3 months, they are fully in your family. So y'all who are buying pretty dogs, who you're trying to convince me it's because your allergies, they come with their own problems too. In fact, a lot of purebreds have a lot of problems. So we highly recommend a little mix of a mutt of some kind. They're super fun. Also, some of these shelter dogs are being fostered in a home. You can also find out right away if they're good with kids or dogs because the shelters find this out. So I follow all the local animal adopting places in Las Vegas, and they'll go, Duchess, she's a tripod. Super great with kids who are gentle, not good with other dogs. She needs to be your only Duchess in the house. There's a really... They know these things.
They're trying to set these dogs up for success.
Yeah. And when you buy a dog, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Idea. You have no idea what that puppy's going to be like. You don't know. So we highly recommend it.
We've done that.
We Bayonne was at a kill shelter.
Yeah. Gaia, I rescued her. She wasn't from a shelter, but Bayonne was a kill shelter.
Before you rescued her, she had been rescued from another shelter.
Yeah.
Look at that dog had been handed over to 3 different families by the time you had gotten her, and she was great.
Paperwork with 4 different owners' names. Yeah. And then August was also in a shelter here in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. And he took his time.
Pretty sure they were not a kill shelter here in Vegas, but still.
No.
In a shelter.
No. So anyways, go find out if you are unsure what to do. You can also foster a dog that you think you might like and then foster fail. Or if you're like, wow, this isn't working out. This is not what I thought. Then you just foster it and you did. And also when they're outside of the shelter, they're less stressed out and they have a lot less fear. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's the holidays. Yeah, you're busy. You know what? Cuddling with a dog makes everything better. Right now, I've been cuddling with my dog a lot. Upcoming events. We're going back to Cambodia. Well, actually, when you hear this, we're literally on the road for the tour. So I'm just going to say that.
Well, yeah, but
we're on the road for the tour.
That's the 4th announcement. So sure.
Okay, got it. But soon we'll be back in Cambodia, and many of you have asked if you could move there. We highly recommend you visiting with us before you ask to move into our house in Cambodia. So yes, we have a house there. You get to stay with us. Go to crowsnestretreats.com to snag your spot in February. I know it's around the corner, but we go at the end of February, so plenty of time to snag your spot.
Yeah.
So you
and
can't
the end
even
of
apply
Feb,
for your visa yet.
Yeah, you can't apply for your visa yet. It's too soon and still plenty of time to get your plane tickets. So come join us. And like Lesley said, I would recommend coming and hanging out first before you decide to move permanently.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to move permanently, I'm sure you could figure that out too.
Yeah, while you're there, you could just stay. They do have rules around that, so you can't just stay, but there's ways around it. All right, there's ways to figure it out. I've only been home for a few days since the shoot for the accessories flashcard deck. Our last deck in the 6-deck series of Pilates exercises. We just did it, and it's not our biggest deck. It's not our smallest deck. It's right there in the middle. We want to make sure it's extra affordable to add to your collection, and only those on the wait list are going to get the pre-sale price. What's the pre-sale price? Well, it's the best price you'll ever get on the deck. So you want to go to opc.me/flashcard waitlist. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say multiple times, but opc.me/ maybe it's the slash.
It's the /flash.
/flashcard waitlist.
Yeah.
Yes.
opc.me/flashcard waitlist.
Yeah. And it's free to be on the list. You'll just have to buy your cards when you're ready. When we have the pre-sale, don't miss it. If you are late, it's too late.
All right. So I've been doing accelerator webinars this year, and it's been great. We've had, I don't know, hundreds of people go through them over the last couple months, and it's been really nice to get people thinking, challenging them a little bit, and also sharing some of the things that we've learned after coaching more than 2,000 businesses about how to make money with your studio and how to double your income, literally. But that's it for this year because we're obviously on the road right now. I'd love to host them, but I can't trust the internet when I don't even know where we'll be.
Time zones,
time zones, everything. It's complicated. So I'll be picking them back up again next year, and I absolutely encourage you to come join me. It's free. So go to profit.biz/accelerator. That's profit without the o.biz/accelerator. And that'll help you if you're feeling stuck in your business at all. This is going to help get the ball rolling for you. So come join me next year. I'd love to have you.
Yeah. And then we're on tour. It starts
tomorrow. Literally tomorrow.
Yeah. The first of 22 cities starts tomorrow.
Yeah. But we're already on the road as it stands right now. We left a couple days early
We stayed at Dan Hole's cabin.
Don Hole. HOEL.
Yep.
In Sedona.
Yep. And we're super close to our favorite coffee shop in Sedona where I can get donuts.
Indian Gardens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that place is amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll be down in Cottonwood teaching a class, and then we head off to Oklahoma City.
Then it is Atlanta.
Huntsville.
Oh, Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama's before Atlanta.
Yep. And then we're going to...
I know the globe. I know it.
We're going to do a pit stop in Nashville to hang with a couple friends before we go down to Atlanta where we teach.
Oh, yeah. I got it up now. I got the dates. All right. Then we go to Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yep.
Then we're in D.C. I'm going to tell you this. As of the time of recording this,
Huntsville and D.C. are sold out.
Super sold. It's been so fucking sold out. You do not pass go. Meet us in Atlanta. Greensboro. Then we have Washington, D.C. That's super sold out. Both workshops or both classes and workshop gone.
But for those in Washington, D.C., you can swing around the Bay and join us in Virginia Beach later, or you can go north to Hershey.
Hold on. Stick around. You'll find out where we're going next. So Hershey, Pennsylvania, at the time recording this, has one spot in the class, and the workshop is almost sold out.
Holy mackerel.
Then we're going to Portland, Maine. Then we're coming back down to Boston, Massachusetts. Only room in the workshop there. Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Only room in the workshop there. Greenwich, Connecticut, we have a MAC class. Virginia Beach, that's for those DC people. You can come around to Virginia Beach, their spot in the workshop, not the class.
It's a 3-hour drive, I think, for them from DC, but still, come join.
Those Virginia Beach people drove down to Greensboro, which was like 7 hours or something.
So here's what's crazy, y'all. Last year, we were in Greensboro, and 5 people drove from Virginia Beach to Greensboro, which is 5+ hours drive.
Yeah.
And this year, we decided to go to them.
Yeah.
So, come surprise us. Come hang out. We love your enthusiasm. Come hang.
Then we're going to Charleston, South Carolina. Then Miami. Last class of the year of 2024, but not the tour.
Right.
Then we head up to Tampa, Florida, Pensacola, Florida, which at the time of recording this, I think is someone just bought all the tickets.
The workshop has like.
I think it's sold out.
Sold out?
So there's room in the class.
Yeah. There's room in the class.
New Orleans, that class has been sold out, but you, at the time of recording this, have 3 spots left in your workshop. I don't think that's going to last. Austin, Texas, we are coming back. Your class is sold out, but there is room in the workshops because Align Pilates Studio has such a huge space, which is really, really nice. Dallas, Texas, that class is sold out, but there's room in the workshop. Lubbock, Texas, and then Phoenix, Arizona, that's where we're ending. Class is sold out, but a few spots left in the workshop. You guys, this tour is more than 50% sold out at the time of recording this, which is 3 weeks before we start, which means this is going to be huge. It's going to be a party.
You don't want to
miss
it.
it. And also, if you haven't seen the
merch. Good merch.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
opc.me/tour merch.
Yeah, go to opc.me/tour merch. Our designer made us look like we are rock stars.
Rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a band.
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. It's so great. I'm obviously bringing the pink coat on this tour. We can't leave it behind, Anyways, before we get into the episode, we had a question from someone on YouTube.
Yeah, we totally did. So Pie and Lattes on YouTube asked, hey, is there a secret to reducing spring noise on a Pilates chair?
Yeah. So first of all equipment like Cadillac tower type stuff, those can make noise. Even some of the springs on the reformer can make some noise. I haven't really had that as much of an issue as for sure the tower and the window chair. Here's what I've noticed. When it gets colder, my chair makes different noises.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
there's a weather situation to it. The other thing is if you get some 3-in-1 and you put it on a cloth and then you take the cloth and you wipe the inside of the ringlet that the hooks are on,
Oh, sure.
that kind of oils it up.
Because the spring is kind of sliding
Yeah,
around
so it's
in
just
there.
metal on metal. So you
Right.
just take some 3-in-1 and you,
What is 3-in-1?
it's like an oil. So honestly, okay, do not try this without talking to your manufacturer. But one of my clients,
Oh, yeah, it's just an oil.
she didn't want to go buy 3-in-1. So she just took olive oil and she just sprayed it on her chair hooks. And that's fine too, I think. I wouldn't spray on the springs, but
I
on the hooks.
mean, a bottle of 3-in-1 is $3.79.
Yeah.
So
So I saw this guy and he just sprayed it on the eye hook of things, but then it kind of didn't drip, but it cuddled on the eye hook. So I honestly just douse a towel and I wipe the inside. And I only really have to do that in the cold season. I don't really need to do it on the hot. I don't know. I think it depends on where you are, but that's how you do it. And then the other thing you can do is actually change how the hooks, not every chair lets you do this, but some chairs let you, like my Contrology chair, I can change which way the hooks kind of open up a little bit so that I can
just twist it.
I can just twist it just a little bit. And sometimes that also helps. So check your weather, maybe warm up your house a little bit. Also, I'm not saying make your house humid, but have a humidifier in there. That can also just keep things feeling really good. Like one of those little store ones. It's not going to rust your springs like you're in Maui or something like that. But that's what I would suggest you do. And if you're like, what is a window chair? What is 3-in-1? Hi, I'm Lesley. Welcome to the podcast. We answer random questions. Here, I am a wealth of knowledge.
And humble too. If you have a question, feel free to text it to us, 310-905-5534. Text us and just say, hey, question for the pod. Or you can send us a voicemail on Instagram or whatever. Yeah, anyway, love it. Love the questions. Keep them coming. Thank you very much. Stick around. We're going to be talking about how can somebody do 48 fitness competitions in 48 days in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. Okay, Kelsey Lensman is a nutrition, fitness, and mindset coach with expertise in sports medicine and training techniques. A former Ohio State rower, Kelsey founded Expand Your Limits to empower women to reach their strongest, most confident selves. Known for her Mission 48 journey, completing 48 fitness competitions in 48 states over 48 days, Kelsey is passionate about helping others step out of their comfort zones, do hard things, and discover what they are truly capable of.
Can you imagine? This is not like she did 48 Ironmans. Not that it's easy to train for that, but you know what to expect. You know how to train for that. We talked about on the podcast. There was just like random things that she was doing. And
yeah.
And so
so you're not necessarily fully trained for all the things
you're just
all the
doing
time.
but I love this because you're doing the best you can. If you can't go, I'm not going to do that. It's like, no, you said you're going to do 48 things in 48 days. And so I love the commitment. I love the willingness to be bad at something. I'm not that she could be bad at anything. The girl's so fucking strong. It's annoying, but like.
But also the perseverance, the determination,
Yeah.
the consistency. I mean, also, I don't know if she must have had somebody drive around with her. She
I mean, they had to fly 48 states in 48 days. I know that the East Coast is close together, but you can't even get through California to Oregon on the same day.
Yeah, no, you can't. But it's possible they just drove all night and she slept.
Kelsey, we want to know.
We want to know if you drove or flew.
Did you drive or fly?
We didn't ask that question, but that's that curiosity is.
She also filmed the whole
peaked.
thing. There's like a documentary.
Oh, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
smart. That's a great. So then she clearly didn't do it alone. She definitely had a team.
So then she had a camera on. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? You're like, I feel like shit today. And now I've got to go rucksack something and crawl on my
No,
arms, on my ruckgain, on my elbows and my knee.
Just got to rucksack this one.
But I also love that she said you got to be ready for the curveballs. And I think what's really cool about what she did is like how great it is to train your mind and body that you can kind of handle what's coming at you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we get stuck in our ways and a lot of us are feeling a little overwhelmed, but like all the curveballs coming our way and we're like, we're not kind of able to roll with it. Not we should on some things, but I like that she did this. I like that she trained like this. I think it's really inspirational. You guys don't have to be into fitness to do this. You can actually think like, what could I commit to over a period of time that would challenge me in my comfort zone and just be okay with giving it a try? What could I do?
Yeah, it was called Project 48, right? Oh, Mission 48, Mission 48. Because I was wondering,
I don't think the documentary is out as of this.
So I was thinking, why did she do it? And she said on her website, it says, I'm on a mission to complete 48 competitions in 48 states in 48 days to inspire women and girls to step out of their comfort zones and show themselves they are stronger than they think. So it doesn't seem like she got paid to do this.
No, she did not.
In fact, she had to pay to do this.
All these things. Pay the team. That's the other thing that I think is really interesting. I was talking with this with Michelle Wispelway from the first Femgevity episode. We did a live today, and she was talking about how she trained for a half marathon. And, you know, she's older, and when she used to run, it used to hurt her, and now it doesn't because now she like prepared herself for these things. And she's like, yeah, I want to show my daughter and I want to show the women around me that just because I'm older doesn't mean I can't do this. I'm just going to resign myself. I can never run again. And I think like it's cool what Kelsey's doing and other people you might even be doing is like putting yourself into a position where you're uncomfortable and then tell people about it so that they can be inspired. And if your first reaction is must be nice for Kelsey, you need to understand that is the worst. If you've been programmed to say that, I'm going to call it a programming because I do think that someone told you that in your family and then you've been repeating it. You ask yourself, oh, I wonder how you did that. How'd you set the time aside? How did you afford to do that? What were some things like be curious because then you can find out like, oh, they invested a lot of time. They invested a lot of money. This is a big risk, but it was part of the impact that they wanted to make.
Yeah. And it looks like she partnered up with Rocks Ruling Out Experiences. It's a 501c3 that develops confident girls who control their own relationships, experiences, decisions, and futures. So it's developing confident girls. So I just pulled up her full map for the event and
she skipped California and did Alaska.
I was just,
I'm joking. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. Wouldn't that be funny? She was like, it's too long.
No. It's every state in the United States, contiguous states. So she skipped Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah.
Those are the two she skipped. Otherwise, she did all 48 contiguous states. You know, like I know we said 48 states in 48 days, but looking at
think she repeated Florida or something? Like, what did you think happened?
She just went between Georgia and Florida 24 times in each state. 48 states,
That's
48
the most
days.
Boring drive. I would die.
No, she went from like Pennsylvania. She went from Pensacola to Mobile, Alabama. Just like
Yeah. Okay.
No.
And by the way, Florida, I don't hate you. It's just you got to be honest with the
panhandle's
that
pretty
panhandle is pretty boring and windy.
Yeah, and windy. But no, it's impressive to see all the pins on the map she has on her site. Anyway, impressive, incredible. Go, Kelsey. So I really loved when she was talking about courage. She stressed that courage in the pursuit is something that you should be so damn proud of, right? Just think about for every one of you who has decided to change your career and teach Pilates instead of do whatever you went to college for, because none of us went to college to teach Pilates, right? Or maybe you decided
there are a few people who got their Pilates certification out of college. It does happen.
It is real. That can happen.
It's a real thing.
I mean, kinesiology, I can understand.
Usually
or
community college, or people became a PT. But if you're like Brad and I, and you went to college for a degree that you technically don't use and paid a fuck ton of money for.
Or for those of you who were teaching somewhere and decided to venture out on your own and open your own space, there are so many variables and so many unknowns, and we try to support everyone that we can through Profitable Pilates with those kinds of decisions in our industry, but still, it's a scary thing, right? And for Kelsey, I mean, just think about that. Could you do 48 things in 48 days, let alone compete
I would say in my 30s, not a problem. In my 30s, if you and I had done a 40-day tour or something like that, I would be like, that sounds so fun.
Babe, you're not a day older than 29. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
But I will say currently today, I could do every other day for 48 days, or I could do 5 days. And I just, here's why.
Need some
I
days
think,
off.
and also let me just caveat this. I probably could have done her thing, the competition thing. Not that I would like to go wrecking.
Rucksacking?
Yeah, not that I want to crawl on my hands and elbows, but like probably could have been physically active 48 days and 48 states. I think for me, why I think I just did a tour is like I'm pouring into people. I'm leading the things for 48 that I couldn't do. But if I was to, could I read a book, one book a day for 48 days?
Well,
I could do that.
Of course.
Could I participate in the competition?
I think it's about the physicality is what I meant.
I think I could have
anyway,
done it.
the reality is it's a scary thought. There's a lot of unknowns.
She's now doing 100 miles.
And she's actually running on the second to last day of the year or the last day of the year.
Yeah.
Can't remember. But we should all wish her luck, y'all, on the IG.
Kelsey, we're cheering you on, and we're so excited you're doing this.
But she's talking about something being, be proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
To even pursue it. It takes courage. And so she said the courage in the pursuit is something you should be so damn proud of. Courage is in continual persistence is something to be proud of from a daily standpoint.
Yeah, I think that's worth rehearing from her and us re-saying. The courage in the pursuit is something you should be just so damn proud of. I think we all have been, maybe not all, but there's that importance of winning. If you don't win, you've lost. And I think that can hurt, really. It can sting really bad when you work so hard for something, but really actually just in attempting something and trying and putting yourself out there and putting yourself in an experience that's not something everyone is doing and being proud of what you actually did do is really, really cool. And you can actually learn from that versus being obsessed with a failure. You don't learn from anything like judging yourself or being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it in the episode, I'm almost positive, but there is a hormone that actually you get even from just the pursuit of doing something, not the completion of it.
Oh, okay.
You actually get dopamine from the pursuit.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I heard you talk about this today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
Yeah. You actually get dopamine from the pursuit. And so you don't actually have to.
So it's the journey.
Yeah. It's all about the journey. You know that cliche.
Yeah.
Even your body cares about that cliche. So yeah, I don't know. She's really cool. Makes me want to do, I won't do 48 things in 48 days, but I will do something that challenges me outside my comfort zone in 2025.
All right. Well, stick around. We're going to cover those Be It action items in just a minute. All right. So finally, let's talk about those Be It action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Kelsey Lensman?
Why don't you go first?
Okay, I'll go first this time. For those of you who don't know what she's laughing at, she's laughing at me.
There'll be a blooper. You can hear at the end.
There might be a blooper at the end. All right, here we go. So she said, hey, you have to say no to some things, even if the people pleaser in you would have said yes. Okay. And so she was talking about when she made the decision to, do the 48 in 48 and 48. That causes you to make a change because now you have to be hyper aware of some things and you have to make sure you're getting enough sleep. You have to make sure all the things. So you're going to change a lot in the short term to get that long-term goal. So you have to be willing to say no to some things, even if you are a people pleaser.
You know what's really cool? There's a book called Stop Pleasing out there in the world, y'all. And I think if that Be It action item is something you're like, ooh, I don't know if I could do it, then there's some reading material to go along with it. Because I agree, you have to be able to say no to things. Otherwise, you can't do the 48 and 48 and 40. You can't even, some people, they want to read more. Everyone asked the other day, babe, you and I did all of our books that we really love. And people were like, please distract me. What should I read? And we're like, here's 17,000 books. And we're like, how do you have time? And it's like, what? You got to say no to the things that do not lift you up.
So she talked about enforcing boundaries and how that contributed to her development, allowed her to prioritize her goal over pleasing others. It enabled her to build a stronger, more focused mindset around the 48 for 48. And I think there still needs to be some kind of a reward, even though the journey does give you dopamine. There still needs to be some kind of celebration at the end after you complete this goal, this big goal. But, I think that boundaries are hard. So we get that. But she said, you just have to be really focused on where you're going, where you're headed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Sign up for something that scares the crap out of you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So you don't have to do what she did, but find something that scares you. I've talked about it before on the pod, but just in case you forgot, on my 40th birthday, I went to the circus place. Is that why we were talking about it? Did I talk about it in this episode?
Yes, you were talking
Yes.
about it
Okay.
with her. Yes.
Well, if you didn't listen to it, I did that. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And also it was so great, right? I probably should go try the trapeze, but I will never let go of that trapeze. Like it's, it's stuck in the middle. I'll have to crawl across the net. Anyways, but
well, side note, you mentioned that it's a 40,000 square foot facility, and you said,
yeah.
Brad will probably correct me. So I went to their website. Okay. Because I was now very curious. And I literally had to.
Who has not listened to the episode, I was talking about this huge circus school.
It's called the Circus Center.
Yeah.
Las Vegas Circus Center.
And it's not 40,000 square feet, babe. How many square feet is it?
It's 52,000 square feet.
52,000 square feet. He had a call and they gave it to him.
Massive.
And then that made me go, what's the rent on 52,000 square feet?
I mean, it's a warehouse. It's a huge warehouse.
It's a warehouse, but
but all done up on the inside.
Does anyone get rentals for under $1 a square foot?
There has to be. It has to be.
It has to be.
No way that their rent is 50 grand a month.
50 grand a month.
No way. Yeah, that's insane.
Anyways, it's really cool. You should all check it out if you're into that kind of stuff. And they have stuff for all ages. But sign up for something that scares the crap out of you. I love that this episode is coming out at the towards the end of this year. Before it's our last. Is it our last interview before we have all of our special episodes? I think it might be.
It might be. Let me check.
I think coming up is a bunch of like really cool
episodes
we've got for you. I guess we should explain what that's going to be.
Anyway, yeah. Well, we did an intro on the next episode.
Yeah. So what I hope you do as the rest of December comes up is like, notice what intrigues you. Notice what you're like, oh, I could never do that. And then ask yourself, well, what if I did? And then she said, show up and endure the process and learn a lot about yourself in the process of it. So grab a journal and write, or even on your notes on your phone, I feel really anxious right now. And then after you do it, write down how you feel. Give it a try because you're going to learn so many things about yourself. And every time we go on tour, even though the tour itself is something we've done before, because every tour is unique, we're in different cities all the time. There's different things. We're always reflecting. I'm always learning about myself. I'm like, oh, wow, I don't do well if I don't get this kind of sleep, or if I didn't get this kind of workout, or, oh, if this happens, I need this. And so you learn about yourself. And so you get better every single time you do something. That's kind of being it till you see it. Really. That's what it is. So do something that scares the crap out of you and learn about yourself as you do it.
Yeah, I love it. I was thinking about that. What is it that scares the crap out of me that I have always hesitated
Pilates
to do?
Practice.
Terrifying. Well, I was thinking, I've jumped out of planes and I haven't jumped off a building, but, I've I don't know, swam in the ocean and stuff, things that can really mess with your head. And all
of those things scare me. Every time we get into the open water of the ocean, I'm like,
but I did recently do something that scared the crap out of me. I went knocking on doors, canvassing during this last election.
Yes.
I've always been willing to make phone calls and send text messages and donate money, but I've never been willing to go actually knock on doors. And I decided I was going to go do that. And to be honest, at first I was kind of worried. I didn't really know what I was getting into. And they partnered me up with someone who didn't have a vehicle because she had flown into Nevada to participate and she didn't have a car. So I did. And so we kind of became a pair, but she then had her flight home during my last shift that I signed up for. So I was then knocking on doors by myself, and then daylight savings time happened. So it was dark at like 4:35 p.m. And I was like, it's not even that late, but it feels so dark right now. And then I was knocking on doors in people's neighborhood in the dark. And I was like, this is probably not that wise. But it was actually, what I found was I had only one person yell at me. I knocked on almost 150 doors. And she answered the door anyway, and then got hissy and was frustrated. But it was actually really cool to just meet people. And I feel proud of myself for doing it, for being willing to do it, even though it's something that actually scared me.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. I think a lot of people did a lot of things this last election that were probably outside of what they normally do. And I think to go back to what she said at the beginning, which is, you got to be ready for curveballs and you've got to have the courage and the pursuit of something. You should be so damn proud. And so for all of you, we had so many listeners, Brad, who were like, Brad was not a first-time participant in helping people vote and understand how to vote, but a lot of you reached out like this was the first time you got involved in the election and you were really trying hard. And it was such a disappointment.
Yeah, it was.
It And I'm still not over it. But you have to know what you did really did matter. And it's just the start of it. And you learn something about yourself. You learned about what it took to do those things. You learned that you had the courage to step out and tell people, like, this is what I care about. And this is why you should care about it. And have you looked at this?
Yep.
That is not easy to do. Most people just sit there and take it. And some of you just went through Thanksgiving sitting there having to take it. And some of you are thinking about the hell you're going to do at Christmas. And may I suggest you don't. But also, you can stand up for yourself and you can say what you believe in. You can say what matters to you and what you're proud of. And you can have a different opinion without being antagonistic.
Yeah.
And you can hold space for other people. And Brad knocked on over 150 homes and only had one person get hissy about it. That's kind of...
They were all 100% strangers. I kept wondering if I was going to bump into somebody that I knew. No, didn't happen.
We don't know that many people.
I know. I mean, the statistics are not there.
I know. Could you imagine? What if I knocked on the doors and they're like, "Aren't you a Pilates instructor?" Anyways, funny. I think this is a great last interview of the year. It's technically not. We have one more coming up.
The 10th is the new.
Yes, but the last Tuesday of the year.
Oh yeah, we do.
We're getting your astrological readings for Pluto into Aquarius and Uranus into Scorpio. And if all of that sounds like gibberish to you, do not worry. We explain it all and we hit everyone's sun signs and we have the best time doing it. And between Kelsey and Mom and me in astrology, I feel like we're ready to take on, well, maybe not ready, but we can take on 2025. Plus, okay, you're going to hear it on the next episode, but we have gone through all 400 and something episodes.
Yeah.
Just the interviews really, and pulled out some of our favorite parts when it comes to relationships or work or bold moments or tips, whatever. And we've put them in episodes and they're not long. And hopefully what this does is remind you of episodes either you haven't heard in a long time or you haven't heard yet, and gives you something to do this holiday season. If you feel like an alien in your family, we see you. And when you have AirPods in your ears, you can say you're on a work call and you can just go, fucking work, man. And I gotta listen. And you can just sit there and listen and you can be in your own world getting poured into, whether or not you're in a place that feels like you feel seen. So I hope this helps. I hope maybe you can share those with a friend to help them have a potpourri of beit interviews to hear about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
You're amazing. Until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at beitpod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.